Hello, English learners. Welcome back to Global English Talks. My name is Olivia.
And I'm John. We're so happy you're here with us today.
That's right. And let me tell you something. If you've ever felt nervous, frustrated, or even embarrassed when trying to speak English, this episode is made just for you.
Exactly. Because here, our mission is simple: real English for real life. No boring grammar, no complicated explanations, just natural conversations that people actually use every day.
And we want you to imagine something. 10 minutes from now, you'll understand today's dialogue completely, even if at first it sounds fast or difficult.
Yes, because that's how learning works. At the beginning, things sound impossible. But step by step, with practice, your brain adapts, and suddenly, English becomes clear.
So, what are we talking about today, John?
Today, we have a really common situation, one that might even feel a little embarrassing.
Oh, I love those. Because embarrassing situations are real. And when they happen, you need the right words in English.
Exactly. And that's what we'll give you today: the exact expressions, tone, and natural English to handle this situation confidently.
Here's how it works. First, we'll play the dialogue at natural speed. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just listen. Let your ears get used to it.
Then, we'll break it down together, step by step, slow, clear, and easy to follow. And by the end, you'll be able to use this English yourself.
Perfect. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn English in the most natural way possible.
All right, let's listen to the dialogue for the very first time.
You know, John, one of the most interesting things about embarrassing situations with English is how universal they are. It doesn't matter if you're from Brazil, Japan, or Italy. Every learner has those moments where the wrong word comes out, and suddenly, the room is laughing.
Exactly, Olivia. And I think that's what makes these experiences powerful. For example, I remember a student who wanted to say, "I'm excited," before giving a presentation, but he accidentally said, "I'm exited." The audience looked confused because exited means you left. It was awkward, but later he told me he never confused those words again.
That's a great point. The mistake was embarrassing, but it became a permanent lesson. And honestly, sometimes the fear of embarrassment is worse than the actual situation. People imagine that others will laugh or judge them harshly, but most of the time, listeners are supportive.
Yes, especially in English-speaking countries. People usually admire the courage it takes to speak another language. When you make a mistake, they often smile, maybe laugh a little, but in a friendly way. It creates connection, not rejection.
And I think that's the lesson here. Embarrassment is part of communication. Even native speakers embarrass themselves. Imagine saying something silly in your own language. You laugh, move on, and the world keeps turning. In English, it's the same.
Absolutely. I also remember a learner who mixed up beach and another similar sounding word. He wanted to say, "I love the beach," but what came out? Well, let's just say it wasn't beach. Everyone laughed, and he turned red. But today, he tells that story proudly because it became part of his journey.
Yes, and those stories are golden. They remind us that language learning is human, messy, and full of mistakes. But mistakes are where the growth happens. They make you stronger, more confident, and more resilient.
Here's something practical for our listeners. After an embarrassing moment, don't just hide from it. Write it down. Write the wrong word, the situation, and the correct way to say it. That way, the next time, you'll feel prepared, and you'll even laugh about it.
And share your stories. Seriously, when you share your embarrassing English moments with friends or other learners, you create connection. Everyone realizes they're not alone. And suddenly, the fear loses its power.
That's right. So, listeners, remember, embarrassing moments are not the end of your journey. They're the proof that you're moving forward. Each one is a little scar that makes you stronger.
And next time you find yourself in one of those awkward situations, don't think, "I failed." Think, "I just learned something I'll never forget." That mindset changes everything.
Perfectly said, Olivia. Because English is not about being flawless. It's about being brave enough to communicate, even if you stumble.
And that's the real secret. Confidence doesn't come before mistakes, it comes after them. John, let's be honest. learning English is not only about vocabulary or grammar. The real challenge for many learners is emotional. Things like fear, shame, and self-sabotage can stop people even before they open their mouths.
Absolutely, Olivia. And I think the number one emotional barrier is the shame of speaking in public. Many learners know the words, they know the grammar, but the moment they need to speak in front of others, their mind goes blank. Their hands sweat, their heart races, and suddenly, they can't say anything.
Yes, and this happens because our brain is trying to protect us. It says, if I speak and make a mistake, people will laugh at me. I'll be embarrassed. But the truth is, most of the time, people admire your courage. They don't care if your English is perfect. They care if they understand you.
Exactly. I always tell my students, communication is more important than perfection. If you wait until your English is perfect, you'll never speak. And speaking in public, even with mistakes, builds confidence. Each time you do it, the shame gets smaller.
Another big emotional barrier is the fear of making mistakes and being judged. Many learners tell me, Olivia, I understand English, but I'm afraid to speak because people will think I'm stupid if I say something wrong. And I always answer, do you think a baby is stupid when they say their first words? Of course not. Mistakes are natural. They are part of growth.
That's so true. In fact, mistakes are the best teachers. Every time you say the wrong word or you forget a phrase, your brain learns. The mistake is not the end, it's the path. And usually, people are not judging you. Most of the judgment is in your own head.
Exactly. It's like a mirror. You see your mistakes bigger than they really are. Other people barely notice. But your brain says, oh no, everyone thinks I'm terrible. That's not reality, that's just fear.
And then comes the third challenge, mental blocks and self-sabotage. Many learners start motivated, but when things get difficult, they think, I'm not smart enough. I'll never learn. Maybe English isn't for me. That negative voice in your head is powerful, but it's a lie.
Yes, the voice of self-sabotage. It makes you procrastinate, it tells you to avoid speaking, it convinces you to quit. But you can fight back. One simple technique is to change your inner dialogue. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I'm learning. I'm getting better every day.
That's a powerful shift, because learning English is not a straight line. Some days you feel amazing, other days you feel lost. But if you keep going, even slowly, you win. The only way to fail is to stop.
So for all our listeners, remember that emotional difficulties are normal. Feeling nervous, embarrassed, or afraid doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means you're human, and being human is exactly what makes language learning so beautiful.
Yes, don't let shame, fear, or self-sabotage control your journey. Instead, see them as signs that you're growing. Because the bravest learners are not the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who keep speaking, even when it's uncomfortable.
Beautifully said, John. And to everyone listening, be kind to yourself. Celebrate your progress. Every word you speak, every sentence you try is a victory.
Exactly. English is not only about words. It's about courage, persistence, and believing that your voice matters. And trust me, your voice does matter.
John, one of the biggest myths in learning English is the idea that you must memorize endless grammar rules before you can actually speak. Many learners feel trapped by this. They study for years, but when it's time to have a conversation, their brain freezes.
Exactly, Olivia. And here's the truth. Nobody learns their first language by studying grammar books. Babies don't sit with a notebook, right? They listen, they imitate, they repeat. Language is naturally acquired through exposure and immersion, not through endless grammar drills.
That's why we talk about natural methods of language acquisition. You learn English the same way you learned your native language, by hearing it, repeating it, and slowly connecting words with meaning. Grammar comes later, almost automatically, when your brain already recognizes patterns.
Yes, and repetition is key. If you hear the same sentence many times, for example, how are you? Your brain starts to recognize it instantly. You don't translate, you just know. That's why listening to English daily, even in small doses, is more effective than memorizing long grammar rules once a week.
Exactly. And let's not forget about immersion. You don't need to live in the United States or England to create immersion. You can surround yourself with English at home. Podcasts, music, YouTube videos, movies with subtitles, and even changing your phone language. The more contact you have, the faster your brain adapts.
And now we have modern techniques that accelerate this process. One of my favorites is shadowing. That's when you listen to a native speaker and repeat immediately, like an echo. It feels strange at first, but it trains your mouth, your pronunciation, and your brain at the same time.
Yes, shadowing is powerful because it breaks the fear of speaking. You're not inventing sentences, you're repeating real English with rhythm, tone, and confidence. Over time, these patterns become natural, and you start using them automatically in real conversations.
Another modern approach is comprehensible input. That means listening and reading content that is just slightly above your level. Not too easy, not too difficult. When you understand 80 or 90%, your brain naturally absorbs the new words without stress.
I love that, because it feels effortless. You're enjoying a story, a podcast, or a YouTube video, and at the same time your brain is learning. You're not studying English, you're living it, and that's so much more powerful.
So, to all our listeners, stop thinking you need to master grammar before you speak. Focus on listening, repeating, immersing yourself, and using techniques like shadowing and comprehensible input. Grammar will come naturally, like it did in your first language.
Yes, and remember, English is not a subject to be memorized, it's a skill to be practiced. The more you use it in real life, the faster you'll grow.
Beautifully said, Olivia. So let's keep learning the natural way, with repetition, immersion, shadowing, and input that feels alive. That's the real secret to fluency.
John, one of the most inspiring things for learners is hearing real stories of people who started from zero and actually became fluent in English. Because when you see it's possible for someone just like you, your brain says, if they can do it, so can I.
Exactly, Olivia. I remember a student of mine named Lucas from Brazil. He started with literally zero English. He couldn't even say good morning. He felt lost, frustrated, and embarrassed. But he made one decision: to practice English every single day, even if it was only for 15 minutes.
Wow, and how long did it take for him to feel real progress?
After about 6 months of consistent practice with shadowing and listening to podcasts, he could hold small conversations. He still made mistakes, but instead of stopping, he used every error as a lesson. Today, a few years later, Lucas works for an international company and uses English daily with confidence.
That's incredible. I also have a story about Anna, a nurse from Mexico. She wanted to move to Canada, but was terrified of the IELTS exam. At first, she failed because she froze during the speaking test. She cried, she almost gave up. But then she realized, failure is not the end, it's part of the journey. She studied smarter, practiced speaking with friends online, and recorded herself every day. On her second attempt, she passed with flying colors.
That shows the power of persistence. People often think fluency is a straight line, but in reality, it's full of ups and downs. You face plateaus, moments of doubt, and times when you feel you're not improving at all. But if you keep going, suddenly one day you realize, wow, I just understood a movie without subtitles.
Yes, those little victories matter so much. Like ordering food in English without fear, or having your first conversation with a native speaker. These moments prove to you that all your effort is paying off.
And the secret to keeping motivation alive is exactly that: celebrating small wins. Don't wait until you're perfect. Every word you learn, every mistake you correct, every time you speak with courage, that's progress.
I love that. Motivation is like a flame. If you don't feed it, it dies. That's why consistency, community, and passion are essential. When you surround yourself with English, when you connect with other learners, and when you remind yourself of your dream, the flame stays alive.
So to everyone listening, fluency is not a gift, it's a result. Ordinary people from all over the world start from zero and achieve it. You can too. Learn from their stories, embrace the challenges, and never give up.
Yes, your story could be the next one we tell here. All it takes is courage, patience, and daily action. John, so many learners still believe that the only way to really improve their English is by traveling abroad. But the truth is, you don't need a plane ticket to create immersion. You can practice English every single day right where you are.
Exactly, Olivia. Think about it. The world is already connected. You have Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, all in English. If you transform entertainment into learning, suddenly every series, every song, and even every scroll on social media becomes an opportunity to study.
That's right. For example, when you watch a series, don't just watch passively. Watch it first with subtitles in English, then again without them. Repeat the lines out loud. Copy the pronunciation, copy the rhythm. That's shadowing in action.
Yes, and with music, it's even more fun. Choose one song you love, print the lyrics, or open them online and sing along. Pay attention to how native speakers connect words. Singing is powerful because it locks the rhythm and vocabulary into your memory.
And let's not forget social media. If your Instagram and TikTok are only in your native language, change that today. Follow English creators, English meme pages, English cooking videos, whatever you like. This way, every time you open your phone, you're practicing English without even realizing it.
Exactly. That's what we call mini immersions. You don't need to be in London or New York to live in English. You can surround yourself with English in small pockets throughout your day, while you brush your teeth, during your commute, or even cooking dinner. 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there, it all adds up.
And here's one of my favorite hacks. Think in English. Instead of saying to yourself, I'm hungry in your language, say it in English. I'm hungry. When you look at an object, try to name it in English. Train your brain to switch naturally, without translation.
Yes, that's the real secret. The moment you stop translating and start thinking directly in English, everything changes. At first, it feels strange. You'll forget words. You mix things up. But little by little, your brain adapts, and suddenly English becomes your second voice.
So, to everyone listening, stop waiting for the perfect environment. Create your own environment. Use series, songs, social media, mini immersions, and mental hacks. If you practice daily, your English will grow naturally, without borders, without excuses.
Exactly, Olivia. You don't need to travel to live in English. You just need to bring English into your daily life. The world is your classroom, and every moment is a chance to practice.
John, one of the most exciting things for English learners today is how technology is completely transforming the way we learn. We're not just talking about apps or online courses. We're talking about personalized learning powered by AI.
Exactly, Olivia. There are apps now that analyze your strengths and weaknesses in real time. They adapt to your level, giving you exercises exactly where you need improvement. It's like having a private tutor in your pocket 24/7.
And it's not only grammar or vocabulary. Some apps listen to your pronunciation and give instant feedback. They correct your rhythm, intonation, and even accent. It's incredible how precise technology has become.
Yes. And then we have AI like ChatGPT. Imagine having a teacher available anytime, ready to answer your questions, practice conversation with you, or even explain difficult grammar points in simple language. The possibilities are endless.
Exactly. You can simulate real-life situations like ordering in a restaurant, negotiating in a business meeting, or even casual chats with native speakers. All with an AI that adapts to your pace and level. It's immersive learning without leaving your home.
And the most exciting part is that AI can accelerate fluency like never before. In the past, learners had to wait years of study and practice before speaking comfortably. Now, with personalized lessons, immediate feedback, and continuous conversation practice, you can reach levels in months that previously took years.
Yes, and it's not just about speed, it's about efficiency. Technology identifies exactly where you struggle, whether it's tenses, prepositions, or pronunciation patterns. That means no more wasting time on things you already know, and maximum focus on what actually matters.
And let's talk about motivation. Learners often quit because progress feels slow. But with AI tracking your improvement, giving gamified feedback, and showing your growth, it's like having a personal coach cheering you on every step. Motivation stays high.
Exactly, John. The future of English learning is immersive, adaptive, and accessible to everyone. Whether you have 10 minutes or an hour a day, AI and technology make every moment count.
So, to our listeners, don't see technology as a replacement for effort. See it as a supercharged tool. Combine your daily practice with apps, AI tutors, and immersive content, and your fluency will skyrocket. The future is here, and it's never been easier to learn English.
Absolutely. Remember, the only limit now is your consistency and curiosity. With technology, AI, and your dedication, fluency is not just a dream, it's a very achievable reality. John, after everything we've discussed, one thing is clear. Learning English is more than memorizing words or grammar. It's about courage, consistency, and embracing every moment of growth, even the mistakes and the embarrassing situations.
Exactly, Olivia. Every learner faces fear, self-doubt, and moments where it feels easier to give up. But those challenges are not obstacles. They're signals that you're on the right path. They show that you care, that you're growing, and that fluency is within reach.
And remember, there are so many ways to learn without depending on traditional grammar. Through repetition, immersion, shadowing, and comprehensible input, you can absorb English naturally, just like you did with your first language.
Real stories from learners around the world show us that fluency is possible for anyone. From zero knowledge to confident conversations, it's achievable if you stay motivated, celebrate every small victory, and keep practicing every day.
Even without traveling, English can become part of your daily life. Series, music, social media, mini immersions, all of these tools let you live the language. And when your brain starts thinking in English, learning stops being a chore and becomes a lifestyle.
And let's not forget the incredible role of technology and AI. Today, learners have personalized tools, AI tutors, and interactive content that accelerate fluency like never before. The future of learning is adaptive, engaging, and incredibly efficient.
So, to all our listeners, your journey is unique. Mistakes are proof of learning, challenges are proof of courage, and every effort brings you closer to fluency. Don't wait for perfection. Speak, listen, repeat, and immerse yourself.
Exactly. English is not just a language. It's a bridge to new opportunities, connections, and experiences. Keep moving forward, embrace every step, and trust yourself. Because every word you speak brings you closer to your goal.
And remember, your voice matters. Your effort matters. And your fluency is just a matter of time, consistency, and courage. So start today, keep going, and enjoy the journey, because the best is yet to come.